Hello, my name is Richard Kent. Today I'd like to talk about the miracle of trees and plants and flowers. Now, you may have heard me on other occasions talking about the miracle of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis happens in the chlorophyll of all green plants and is totally necessary for the production of oxygen and starch for humans and animals. But the leaves are very carefully designed and they need a structure to hold them up. We call them trees. So I'm not going to talk about photosynthesis, I'm going to talk about the structures which hold the leaves up. And they are also fantastically engineered by God. They didn't happen by chance, they are designed by God. Now, if you look at a tree in winter, what are you actually looking at? You're looking at a wooden structure which is mostly tubular. Round tree trunks and round branches. And these are designed to hold heavy leaves, because if you've ever picked up a branch, they're quite heavy, in the best possible position for the leaves on each individual branch to get the maximum exposure to light from the sun, so the miracle of photosynthesis can take place. Now, you know and I know that tubes are actually very strong. We use tubes a great deal in our own construction. Tubes, sometimes they're tubular and sometimes they're beams. But for example, the Eiffel Tower or the San Francisco Bridge or most man-made structures, skyscrapers, basically the underlying structure is some steel framework. Well, God uses a framework, but it's quite different because wood is quite different. It's a living substance. It's actually quite different from steel or china or glass. All of these things would be totally unsuitable for a tree. Now, what does a tree have to do? Well, first of all, a tree has to get bigger. You plant an acorn, you end up many years later with an oak tree. So first thing the plant has to do is get bigger. Now, nothing we make can actually get bigger. Secondly, a plant has to be very strong, and even in the UK, we can frequently have winds up to 40 miles an hour, and very occasionally we have winds up to 90 miles an hour. And most trees can actually survive a wind blowing at that speed. They will simply bend over and then come back to their original shape. Sometimes trees have to adapt to their environment. And you often see trees growing around other trees or trees growing around buildings. God has designed trees in a totally miraculous way by putting within them long tubes. They're called xylem and phloem, which are basically long cells which are ideal for bending and having inherent elasticity, so after they've bent, they come back to their original position. Now, nothing else would actually work. Steel wouldn't work, nothing else would work. Actually, wood is stronger weight for weight than steel, but it's elastic, and it actually can rebound, unlike steel, to its original shape. If you've ever seen a car accident, you'll know that a car can't automatically revert to its original shape. Well, trees can. Something more about trees and the plant kingdom generally is that they are designed by God in a very beautiful way according to the golden ratio or the divine ratio. Now, the Ark of the Covenant is in the divine ratio. Noah's Ark is in the divine ratio, for example. And God has created trees and plants and flowers with his own imprint on them, the divine ratio. And not in this program, but in another program, I'll be talking about the divine ratio in humans and the divine ratio in the plants and the trees and the flowers, that you can see God's design in everything we see. Thanks for listening, and God bless you.